Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, actually it's a dead man parachuting out of the sky. We read the book Lord of the Flies. During a heavy storm, a plane carrying a group of schoolboys crashed on an island. One of the boys survived, and they attempted to establish their own society, similar to the one they left behind. Ralph, one of the oldest, and Piggy, one of the wisest, wanted to make their society successful. The boys agreed to have a fire that they would use so they could signal boats if they could get rescued. The older boys said they would help, but they were all out hunting, and they left the fire behind, and no one was watching it, and a boat passed by. This was a sign that the society was facing imminent collapse. Jack, one of the older boys in the group, and a large portion of his other followers, while not immediately caring for the rules, did eventually rebel and split off from the group. So Ralph is left with only Piggy, Simon, Sam and Eric, and the little ones. Simon goes, well, a little bit wacky in the head because he starts having a conversation with the pig skull, in which they hunted earlier, which is also known as the Lord of the Flies. So then, crazy old Simon decides to go to the top of the hill, and he finds the beast. This beast has been plaguing the group for quite some time now, and they're all horrified because they don't know what lies in the forest. Turns out this beast is really just some dead guy in a parachute. So he goes and tries to tell everyone what he's discovered. But at that same time, Jack was throwing a feast for everyone in his group. Simon finally just arrived at the feast. The savages start to dance around him, and then they eventually tear him apart, and he is killed. A while later, Ralph, Piggy, and Sam and Eric all go and try to reconcile with Jack, but the savages roll a boulder on Piggy, which knocks him off of a cliff 40 feet to his death. The word that the group had was shattered, literally and figuratively, when Piggy was crushed by the boulder. The savages forced Sam and Eric to join their group, and their group decided that they would hunt for Ralph. Ralph was finally found, and he was chased to the end of the beach, but right there on the beach, an adult was waiting for him. It would seem to be a British Navy captain or general. Before he could tell him what had happened on the island, he broke down into tears. The rest of the boys followed, and everyone else was in tears to follow.
Lord of the Flies, the author is trying to portray many different messages. The overall message of the story or theme is the conflict between human innate instinct for violence and the wills made to reduce it. The violence in the Lord of the Flies resulting in 2 deaths was due to people's lack of sanity. After Piggy had his glasses taken, it was a symbol for the boys on the island's sanity being completely diminished. Since Piggy was one of the last people who could see clearly, his glasses represented his ability to see things clearly, considering he was the one of the boys who could actually understood the intensity of the situation, hence his glasses. Jack and Ralph represent the 2 different sides of the situation. Jack represents the human innate instinct for violence, and Ralph represents the rules made to contain.
The author is relating these characters to different governments. Ralph representing democratic values, Jack representing dictatorial values. We know democratic values were shown through Ralph because of how hard he tried to set up a government and keep order. Although he still had one person who was in charge of everything else and everyone, he still made an attempt to create structure among their community by having a person in charge to appoint others and keep order. Whereas Jack, on the other hand, focused on only 2 things, hunting and being in charge. His dictatorial views are shown through his attempt at being the sole ruler no matter the cost, whether it was someone's life or the respect of others. He did whatever he saw fit and had people follow what he did because they need someone to lead them. That's what began to create havoc. The people following Jack started to become savages and would stop at nothing to do whatever was pleased Jack.
The character I'm going to describe is Jack. He was very power crazy. He never really wanted to be part of the group with Ralph and all the other guys. He only wanted the power to himself and wanted to create more of a dictatorship so he could be the leader.
This character is Ralph. He was the first person introduced in the book. He was also the first one to establish order. He was practical and always had the group's best wishes and put them in front of himself.
Piggy, wise little Piggy. Well, he's probably one of the more relatable characters in the group. He represents a lot of democratic values. He's really the only one that can see clearly because he has glasses, like me, and I can't see clearly without them, so that's something I can relate to. Unfortunately, while he's trying to be bold and speak to the group about what's necessary, well, he gets crushed by a boulder, which isn't exactly nice. Sam and Eric, the twins, were both followers and were easily persuaded by other people.
Simon was an interesting character in the story. He was pretty much the right-hand man to everybody in the group. He was nice, kind, and smart, and he was always there when you needed him. Oh, hi, didn't see you there. I am the producer / editor of this little project we like to call Education. Our book is Lord of the Flies. What are you doing?
I am writing the summary.
Riley?
I'm writing the script.
Zach,
Doing the timeline.
Callie,
Theme and analysis.
Zach explain.
Get it down farther.
It's John, presenter.
I'm doing theme and analysis.
That's just what we like to call hard work. Team of hard work.